Well, Jaiya came up with a whole thing called empowered erotic persona work, which is exactly that. It's finding those places that are buried, hidden, shamed, that you hid away, and reclaiming them, like owning them once again not through, like pretending, but finding that true core inside yourself so that you can actually adopt it and become it, live it, and then gain more freedom with it.
Yeah, so if you have shame around sex, what's the persona that doesn't have shame? And then being a choice to put on that persona, and how would that persona play? How would that persona move? How does that persona make love? I have a persona that Ian likes to have sex more in the earlier part of the day, and I like to have sex at night. And I was like, I don't like sex during the morning, blah, blah. Like I was telling myself a story. And then I put on a persona who, if you schmooze her enough, you give her enough
with
gold.
The right things.
She'll have sex any time of the day. And her name is Lulinara. So Ian would just, and she's also not from this time. So like she also has an archetypal piece of like the gold digger archetype, but she's very much of a queen who just likes to be lavished in gold. So if you give her enough gold, she will do whatever you want.
But you got to
on her terms.
A lot of gold.
So we would have sex in the morning, and then I liked it. And, so like Jaiya's in there going, wait a minute. Like I have this whole story that I don't like sex in the morning, but Lulinara has sex in the morning, but it's still Jaiya. So.
This particular thing has a whole process of being able to adopt those things as authentic. It's not the police officer. I'm a police officer. It's it's what is the energy of police officer? How do they walk? How do they breathe? I had one of my big revelations, and it was only like 3 or 4 years ago. We have the whole thing of your blueprint types, and you have different percentages. And my sexual is one of the blueprint types. Was either a 0 or 7%.
And of course, mine's the highest. I'm highest in sexual.
And I didn't know, okay, well, why is this? Like, kinky's really high for me. Sensual's really high for me.
And of course, kinky's lowest for me.
Yeah. So that's a whole other story. But what I realized a few years ago was I had this whole story of the good boy. Like, projecting my sexuality and my desire onto somebody that I'm turned on by is a bad thing. So I internalized this in myself, and one of my personas was a character named Sly, and he's like a 1940s complete objectifier. Like if you took him out in modern day society at the bar, he would be getting in big trouble. But I was able to start to work with him to release this whole sexual shame thing and own the objectifier, own the part of me that would just go in and claim the thing that I want sexually. And that completely affected my dynamics within our blueprint.
Do you
profile.
remember when you were first putting on Sly and we were in that hotel in Hawaii and you just like walked out naked and you were like just strutting? And I was like, whoa, who's this guy? Because of course I'm wanting that from him in our relationship is more of that like sexual who just like owns his cock. And then you reclaimed it.
Yeah, and realizing that there was this buried thing that I didn't even realize was there that was sexual shame. Like just shame of my own desire, my own craving.
Or as a person with a cock, like I'm going to get an erection randomly. Remember we were talking about that too. Like, oh God, like hiding that you're turned
the
on.
random erections, which maybe you experienced when you were in middle school and like you get still good for you. Yeah. But you take the school books and hide them as you walk hide your erection as you walk out of the class in between periods, and you're just like, that was another indoctrination. This is not okay. I can't expose this.
And so with the persona work, it's not just about the persona you want to take on. It's about what's the persona also that's in the way. Like, and they talk about in IFS, internal family systems, parts work, which I didn't even know at the time what that was. I've only recently learned about it. But it's like, what are these parts of ourselves that we've disowned? And what's the part of ourselves that came in to protect us? Or what? Usually it's something about keeping us safe or keeping us protected. And so it's these protector parts that keep us from fully diving into. And sometimes we need those protector parts,
They played a role.
They played a role. And they, like for me with the trauma, it was like I had a part called Dragon Lady, which was the part that was like, I'm done and I hate you, and like that whole rage monster that would come out. But she was just protecting me, and it's like, good job, like you did good part that's protecting me. You helped me survive all of that.
And now you're not needed.
And now we can chill out.
Right.
Chill the fuck out and let this other part come up.